So a buy down is essentially taking a portion of money from the seller or the other side of the transaction and putting it into an account, usually an escrow account the loan servicer is going to hold on to, and it's going to pay the difference in your payment of a different interest rate over a certain period of time. And I know that's really confusing. So as an example, let's say your interest rate that your lender quoted you right now is 7%, because that's out there. But you plan on refining the house in 2 to 3 years anyway, because you think rates are going to come down, but you want to get in, you want to buy, it makes sense to buy now, right? So, but the payment makes you a little uncomfortable. You're like, yeah, I qualify for it, but $3,600 a month. Oh my God. Oh, that's a stretch. Like 32 I could do, maybe 33, 34. Okay. But 36, I'm really uncomfortable with that. Okay. So if you're in a market situation where you can ask the seller for help or for credits or for price reductions and negotiate things, that is a big if. Talk to your local trusted realtor. If you're in the Denver metro area, hit me up. My contact information is down below. If you're in another area, I've got a link down below. I can match you with some amazing agents, because I always match with CRS agents if I can, because we're the top 2% of agents in the country. And we know how to advise our client, and we've had to do this for at least 5 years. So we know what we're doing. But as far as if you're in that market situation where you can ask for things, maybe you're thinking like, okay, well, I want to negotiate $15,000 off the price of a $500,000 house. Those options are out there, and the market depends on all of that. But let's say you have that $15,000 that you think you can negotiate with the seller. There's different ways to do that. There's different ways to use the money. Sure, everybody talks about doing a price reduction, right? Because buyers are much more price conscious than they should be. You don't live in the price, you live in the payment. Unless you are selling this house in 2, 3, 4 years, the price should not be as much of a concern, because it's a long-term play. You're going to live in this payment. So if the payment makes you uncomfortable, but the price, if you got $15,000 to work with, that $15,000, if you take that off the price and all your loan terms and everything else are the same, it might make a $7, $8, $10 difference on your payment every month. It's not going to make much of a dent. It really depends on your down payment, your credit, your rate, all those things. But if you take that $15,000 and buy down your rate permanently, that's another video I'll link to up above and down below once I've posted it on permanent buy downs versus temporary ones. Then okay, that'll make a difference in your payment, maybe $50 a month. Okay. Because you're buying down the rate for the life of a 30-year loan for most people. And it doesn't stretch quite as far, but not a bad option. If you just want to set it, forget it, and never want to worry about refining your house, and you're just like, meh, whatever, I don't want to deal with this. I just want to be done and buy my house and pay my payment every month. Cool. Maybe you want to take that $15,000 and say, hey, seller, I want you to do a buy down for me. I want you to put that money, give it to the lender. The lender's going to hold on to it. And instead of me paying 7% interest, I want to pay 5% interest for the first year, because that's going to save me $200 on my monthly payment for the first year. And then I want you to buy it down to 6% for the second year. So you got qualified at a 7% rate, for example. I'm not quoting any rates. I'm not a licensed lender, or all the legal jargon, CYA stuff there, right? But let's say you're qualifying at a 7% rate for the 30-year loan, but you know you're probably going to refi this house, or maybe you're not going to be in it long, something like that. And you're like, I just need a little bit of temporary relief on the payments. Temporary buy down. So seller's going to put the difference of what the cost of your monthly payment at 5% versus your monthly payment at 7%. Let's say that difference is $200. They're going to take that cost of $200 every month for the first year, and let's say it's a cost to get you down to 6% for the second year. It's $85 a month or something like that. Make of the cost of what it makes in the payment difference, and they're going to take that $85 a month, and they're going to add all that up, and they're going to put it in. They're going to give it to the lender, and the lender's going to hold that in an account. So now you have a much cheaper payment for the first year, a little bit cheaper payment for the second year, and then you're back up to your full payment on year 3, which you're thinking, well, I'm probably going to refi the loan by then anyway. So what it does is it takes a lot more of an impact off your monthly payment in a short period of time than just getting that off the price. And let's say you do refi, and you're like, but that seller paid all that money in that, did that buy down, but I'm only a year in and I want to refi now because the rates are good. I don't want to lose all that money. Cool. That money the seller's already paid goes towards your principal balance. It's like the lender's like, oh, you've already paid that money. And so that goes towards your loan in the refi as far as money that you've paid towards your principal balance. So you don't lose it. But it's a way to, if you're in the situation, because everybody's situation is different. So I'll link to a video up above and down below on how we can't make decisions for you, because everyone's situation is different. Our job is to educate you to see what makes sense for you, and you can make those choices. So, but what it does is it allows you to say, if you're in the situation of, well, I qualify to buy more, but I don't really want to spend that much every month, but I'm probably going to refi in a couple of years. How can I save some money here? Use that credit from the seller and run those scenarios with your lender and say, hey, what if I do a permanent buy down? How much does that change my payment? And at what point is the best ROI for me, right? If I save, $8 a month for the life of the loan, cool. If I'm not going to be in this house for 30 years, it probably doesn't add up enough. But if you save $200 a month for the first year and $85 a month for the second year, and you're adding all that up or whatever, like, figure out those scenarios of what makes sense. Because if that helps you get into the house when you wouldn't be able to now, versus waiting 2 or 3 years till you feel like you have enough money down to put down to lower the monthly payment, that price may have gone up and you can't save as fast as the market will appreciate. I think the market's going to definitely not appreciate as rapidly as it has the last 5 or 6 or 7 years, which I am totally okay with, because the last 3 years were nuts, not normal, not sustainable, not really good for many people. And it's going to hit in property taxes. It's going to be ugly. I'll link to that up above and down below for when I post it, because I'm going to post that here in the next couple days. But just look at those scenarios. Okay. So consider a buy down if it makes sense for you. Talk to your lender. Talk to them on the difference of a temporary buy down versus a permanent buy down, and understand the different ways you can use money that you negotiate with the seller. The best way that makes sense for you to use that helps your current situation, which might change in time. So anyway, just today's tip. If you have any questions about this, I am not a licensed lender, but I have amazing lenders that can advise on this. For some people, temporary buy downs make sense. A 2-1 buy down, a 1-0 buy down, a 3-2-1 buy down. There's lots of different options out there and at different costs, right? So if you have questions, feel free to reach out to me down below. If you're in a different marketplace and you want a good realtor that knows good lenders, I have a form down below. I can match you with a couple people, because you should be interviewing agents, as I always say, but I have an amazing network. I'm really picky on who gets on my list. Feel free to fill that out and I can help you there. And definitely, if you're in Denver, hit me up. I'm advising my clients on this every day. Every day I have people call me and they're like, does this make sense? Should I do this? Should I buy now? Should I wait? All that kind of stuff. That's a lot of what we do, is consult on your situation. Say, okay, what's your goal? And let's work our way backwards and figure out a plan. So thanks so much for your time. If this was helpful, hit the like button. I would greatly appreciate it. Subscribe to my channel if you're liking all my stuff, or you want to hear me chatter some more, because I chatter a lot. And let me know what else y'all want to learn. I'd be happy to talk about it. So thanks and have a great day.